Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Identification, please.
If you would, let's bow our heads, please. Oh, gracious God of love and mercy, we thank you for this additional opportunity to be of service in your world. We thank you for this great country, for the processes and procedures that our founding fathers gave us years and years ago in order to govern ourselves. That was a new feature in your world. And we thank you for its evolution. We ask that you continue to give us the wisdom to recognize your will and the courage to implement it. Amen.
All right. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of the last meeting?
I move that they be approved.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve minutes of the last meeting. All in favor, raise your right hand. Are there any additions to the agenda?
I would presume somewhere in there we will get an update on the results affecting the elections in the state of Georgia from the General Assembly.
We can do that under comments. And any other? Have a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to accept the agenda. All in favor, raise your hand. All right, now we're ready for our public comments. We have Mr. William McNiff with us today with his requested time. And Mr. McNiff, you have 10 minutes, Larry. You want to be our timekeeper?
Sure.
Present your comments.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Did you set a time limit? I'm sorry, my
Yes,
hearing is very
10
short.
minutes.
Oh, okay. I won't take 10 minutes. Will you folks reply to questions or not? I don't know what your protocol is.
What was your, will we ask you questions? Is that what are you asking?
No, will you answer my question?
We will respond after you have finished.
Okay.
But as far as the individual back and forth, no.
That's okay. I do apologize. My hearing is terrible and the acoustics in here is just doesn't hit my ears right. So I'm probably speaking too loud for you folks, but it's not too loud for me. And I appreciate it if you folks would stick up. Now, if I was a citizen and I want to run for office in a municipality like Jasper, where would I go to register, to qualify? Oh, you're not going to answer that until afterwards. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Second thing, I understand there's a process called qualifying, and I would like to discover what the protocol is for the Board of Elections on this. I've asked once before in email and did not get a reply. I'm familiar with, I live in Cherokee County, not in Pickens County, but I'm also in the city of Nelson, and so I, under that jurisdiction I'm here, so to speak. I'd like to know, I understand that this qualifying procedure is different from the Cherokee County qualifying procedure, and I would like to know why and where I can get a copy of your qualifying procedure. As you know, here, this whole subject arose because the mayor of Nelson was not qualified, was not eligible, I should say, to run for office. As the mayor of Nelson, he's a Pickens County resident. His homestead exemption is on a home that is not in the city of Nelson, it's in unincorporated Pickens County. And so I want to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Thank you.
You get all those questions?
Would you like me to answer, or would you like to?
All right, well, of course, where to qualify is here. That was it.
I'm sorry, sir.
Where to qualify is here in this office. That was your first question.
So, okay.
We contract with the city of Jasper and the city of Nelson and the city of Talking Rock to hold the qualifying here in this office.
That's all of the cities in Pickens County.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, the process for qualifying is the filing of an affidavit.
The process of qualifying is, and you have an example of what was filled out, is the qualifying paperwork, which is one sheet, filled out by the candidate who is running for office. They sign it stating everything is true on the form, and we collect the qualifying fees, and then we turn the fees and the paperwork over to the cities.
So am I correct in understanding that all you do is collect paperwork and fees?
Yes, and Cherokee County does not do it differently than us. No, all 159 counties in Georgia do it this way.
So anybody could come in here and sign that affidavit and they'd become a candidate?
You do check their registration.
If they're registered to vote in the proper district.
How do you do that?
If they're registered to vote in the proper district. We check their voter registration.
So, and what else that's what I'm trying to discover, is what else you do to determine whether a person is eligible, whether they qualify, because I'm looking at a dictionary definition of the word qualify, and I don't see that happening. And what I'm trying to get at is...
Well, first of all, there are different qualifications for different offices.
Yes.
If a person is running for sheriff, he has to have certain credentials. So there's no one set process. It depends on the office they're qualifying for.
I didn't mean to entrap you, but you just told me that there are certain qualifications. What I want to see is in black and white those qualifications, so that I have an assurance as a voter that what should happen does happen.
I think the residency requirement is the only thing for mayor. The residence of the city of Nelson in your case.
Show him that document there, and that is what determines qualifications.
And that address is compared to his voter registration.
It's got date of birth on it.
It's got date of birth.
Do you
You
get
can't
that
see
form
that.
for all
Can't see that,
offices?
Jack.
Yeah, let me get a
You
blank
can't see
one.
that.
Yeah.
I have that. I have a copy of that. So that addresses the issues for all of the offices, including
That is
the
part
sheriff
of
and so on. Okay.
The other qualifications for the sheriff would be a background check or whatever,
Board of Education.
and we don't do that.
do that. They file an affidavit. They sign an
You have
affidavit
these
saying they're qualified.
qualifications, but you're not giving them to me in writing. You're not giving me a source for them. It's almost like they're arbitrary. Now, my last question is, if there's an untruth in that affidavit, how does it get enforced through the legal judicial system?
A person has 2 weeks after the filing of that document to conduct a challenge.
But there's time limits on that, 6 months before and
No, no,
6 months
2
after
2
election,
weeks.
and
2
then
weeks.
it's dead.
No, you're talking about recall. That's two different things. 2 weeks after a person qualifies, files that paper, you have 2 weeks to set up a challenge for anything that you believe is false.
Citizens do.
Correct.
What the Board of Education doesn't do, Board of Elections doesn't do anything once something is discovered that there may be a mistake in that affidavit, they don't follow up, there's no law enforcement. Somebody have to go to the sheriff and say, Sheriff, there's a lie on this affidavit, and then it goes to court. Is that the process?
That, it's not the sheriff's jurisdiction. It would be up to a citizen to file a challenge.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the board members? Not, move on to, well, we have no new business. That brings us to comments from the board members in general. Like there, you had a question about the laws, the
Yes,
legislative.
yes, the General Assembly just ended last Thursday, and I was wondering if there were any rules, laws passed that have a bearing on the election processes in the state and the county.
The only thing that we received was from Linda Ford, and let me pull that up.
Is that the lady that's leaving or the one that's coming in?
That's the one that left.
Okay.
There was a bill that was attached to another bill, and I think it's their housekeeping bill. If you'll give me just a second. 197 was attached to 127. Or 194 was attached to 127. Do you want to continue, because she's going to hand out the things from the conference and y'all can set the meeting and I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, we'll move on then and come back to that. Our May meeting, because of conference, is there any problem with meeting on May 12th? That will be the second Tuesday at 11:30.
Is that all right with you too? May 12th? It'd be the Tuesday after you get back from work.
In the comments, I just wanted to say, I have their checks for the conference hotel, if they'll pick them up after the meeting.
Everybody hear that? Any other comments? Oh, wait on you.
Okay,
She's got
what happened was, House Bill 194 regarding the changing of the in-person advance voting period has been attached to Senate Bill 127. And I've just pulled up the legislation on that, and the last status report on that, April 2nd, the Senate conference report lost, is what they've got down here,
So that was the last remaining.
I don't think it went anywhere according to how it sounds. But I haven't heard any more updates on the other bills.
Any other comments?
As far as we know, there's no change.
No. As far as I know, what I'll do after the board meeting is I'll run all these bills through the legislation, look up again, and send y'all an email if there's been a status update in any of the bills, but I don't believe there has been.
You're not going to send us all the bills.
No,
Thank you.
just
the summary.
just simply.
Okay.
Right,
Good,
ones that have
thank you.
moved.
You're welcome.
All right, there are more comments, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to return.
A second?
All in favor? Meeting stands adjourned.